Welcome in, everybody, for Saturday Night Racing League. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Again, well, thank you all for being here.
32 cars, green flag at Daytona. And it is a cluster back here for the 15th position. Bailey Turner lead him down.
Turner, Stravato, Jeff Wright. We see some lockup, big lockup. Rewind for seconds. Sturgeon clears all of them.
Comes down a little bit here in the entry of one.
Porter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Ray Massey's going to win it. Are you kidding me?
Sonoma Raceway, the first venue here where we will turn right and left. A lot of racing left to be done in the regular season, but this is week 3 before these drivers get eliminated. Deep into the season, with 3 weeks left, Sonoma Raceway is going to be the make or break. Welcome in, everybody, for Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn. Connor, we've had a shakeup in the points near that cutoff line, but everything seems pretty set in stone when you look at how everything is on the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, cutoff is pretty much the same gap. Some new drivers there, but AJ Stravado's maintained to retaken the points lead over Bailey Turner, but it's only by 4 points. So those two, it's kind of going to be a battle between those two to see who wins, who gets the best, most points in the regular season. Kibby's third, a little further back. Seth Hatchell, Brewer, great seasons for them as well. Jared Shepard, almost a win last week. Joshua Banks took it. I don't know if the 35's here tonight. He is not, so he'll drop in the order. Jeff Wright, his Sonoma record needs no introduction. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but then around that cut line, Weekly, I believe, is more than 3 points ahead. He's 33 points ahead. And then Horonis, Floyd, Sweeting, last one in. Adam Cabot only 24 back, but he's also not here tonight, so that's going to change. So after Cabot's Bryce Shoemaker 45 points back. Cost Carwell, all these drivers trying to make a run in the final few races in this regular season, see if they can make that chase cut line. Not too many races left, one and only road course of the season. So if you're a road guy near that cut line, you're excited about tonight, you can make up a lot of points. If you're not great on the road, you are just trying to get out of here without wrecking the thing.
And as I do in the points, and Connor Horn always out there to call me out on it, you can make a mistake in this race. It is so easy. You have 13 opportunities to do it. This racetrack is so difficult to get around. And then you got to do it 55 times here tonight, Connor. It is such a hard racetrack.
Very difficult racetrack. I think it's a lot easier since they kind of updated the racetrack and, rescanned it. New pavement on this racetrack, so I think it's a little easier, but still very difficult. Very easy to miss a lot of the corners here. You get the short chute all the way down to where I think it's technically number turn 7, but it is really realistically turn 6. That's going to be a great passing zone right there. You can pass up the hill into turn number 2, but very tough to do so. Same thing for turn 5 there. You can pass there, but going to be very tough to pull that off. You kind of have to get single file through the S's or else you're losing a lot of time. Very easy to go off track there. Very easy to go wide to the left out of 12. And then the hairpin in 13, your last great passing zone before you get to the front straightaway to the start finish line. You're going to see a lot of heavy braking opportunities there. You're probably going to see a lot of contact down there, especially near the final stages of this race, but should be a pretty fun race. 2 mile racetrack, a lot of elevation change, which means those rear tires are going to be screaming at you if you're going downhill, uphill. You got to be careful on that loud pedal tonight.
Such a big racetrack, and there's so many opportunities to make it bigger than it really is. That's the takeaway that I get from all of that. It is so easy as a driver to forget where you are or miss a mark. You have so many around this place, but we have to get to the grid. It's no surprise here. with the top spot. The pole award is going to go to the number 48 of Jeff Wright, a 1:17.830. And a very hot racetrack here in Sonoma. AJ Stravato is going to start to the outside. Row number 2 belongs to J.R. Shepard. Dakota Floyd will start in 4th position. 5th spot going to go to Anathian Ferrata. Then you have Philip Brewer in the 6th spot. 7th position, Bailey Turner in the 24. It's going to be Kitty Kibbe. He qualified 1:18.898. Then you have the top 10 with Rob Hamp and Ben Lafter looking to get around here at Sonoma.
I believe Philip Brewer he dropped out, so he'll start from the pits, but he will be in this race. Caleb Weekly, 11th in points, 33 points to the good, so could use a good day today for sure. Angelo Horonis pretty much in the same exact situation, only 4 points behind Caleb Weekly, so really trying to get by Weekly in the points. They'll start 11th and 12th. Chuck Sweeting, another driver right in that cut line, starting right next to those guys. He is the one on the cut line, 24 points over Cabot, who's not here tonight. Then it goes to 45 points over Bryce Shoemaker. Kyle Peacock will start 14th. Justin Ritchie, great season so far. Keeps him top 10 in points. He starts 15th. Seth Hatchell starts 16th. He'll have work to do if he wants to stay top 5 in points. Tim Shinosky, the 07, will start 17th alongside Matt Shinosky in the 31, so they'll start side by side, 17th and 18th, row number 10. Bryce Shoemaker in the 54, who had a decent race going last week. He's that guy closest on the cut line, below the cut line, so he has to have a string of great finishes to end this regular season. He'll start 19th. Noah Mahalski, the 03, will just start in the 20th position.
With 28 cars on the racetrack, a few of these drivers not making it into the grid. Eldon Stewart and Christopher Hodges will start 21st and 22nd. 23rd spot to Eldon Stewart. Oh, we're eventually going to get there. Casey Lakatos, Elliott Butler, 23rd and 24th. Then you go back here to Broderick Vaclavic. Some of these drivers elected not to take a time. Max Costas, 26th position. Keith Shoemaker with Michael Jones. And Michael Jones not making the grid here today. Keys to win here tonight, Connor.
Track position, qualifying was a big part of it. You're not going to have any yellows unless you have a track blocker. So you had to qualify well and just start not from the pits to have a chance to win. So all these drivers really in the top 8 have accomplished that. I think it's going to be really hard, near impossible to win from anywhere except those front 4 rows. And your pit stop's got to be perfect. You're going to have to pit at least once in this race. You're going to have to take 4 tires and fuel. You have to nail your pit entry around that wall with a right-hand turn around the hairpin. That's going to be tough to do. If you can play the strategy right and get through their pit exit and pit entry right, that's how you're going to win this race.
And through the hairpin, I call it turn 11. It could be turn 13. Jeff Wright's going to lead them up the hill here at Sonoma. Green flag is out. 55 laps around here at Sonoma. Already contested for the lead up the hill into turn 2.
It's going to be crucial. Battle for clean air between these two, so important. 2 of our previous winners at road courses. Travado's going to try to run the 48 as wide as he possibly can, trying to get that clean air, trying to get the lead away. It could be a battle for the win for all we know, so really important to get the lead here. And Jeff Wright went wide. 33 is going to have it.
AJ Stravato leading here.
Oh, he missed the corner.
Little wide there in turn 7. But through the S's, gets away with it.
I got away with it for sure. It almost looked by design. I just think that's probably a little deeper than he wanted to go in that corner. We'll see if the 48 tries to save his stuff just a little bit after losing that clean air, because clean air will help your tires so much, especially the front tires. So 48 lost that advantage. He's going to have to deal with it best he can now.
Ali B, welcome to the Fast Pass. Thank you for that subscription.
Bryce Shoemaker.
That's another shot there for the lead.
Oh! Another overshoot. He's going to lose the lead, so Wright gets it back, but I don't know what happened. It's the second corner he just completely missed braking-wise.
Mistake from Stravato. He looked so good on that first lap, and he didn't even get the lead in.
A little contact through the S's last time by Justin Ritchie and Bryce Shoemaker. No damage done, but they lost a lot of time. But Stravato's going to be kicking himself for that.
Look at this.
Just missed the corner. A little bit too much brake, maybe locked him up a little bit, couldn't turn the car, and then really tried to get on the gas to keep the lead and then slid the rears out of that hairpin. That's all it takes, that little bit of a mistake, and now the 48's got the clean air. He's got the lead.
This is how you pull away. This is how you get hypnotized by Jeff Wright.
It could certainly have that effect for sure. I mean, he's just been felt like a lot of these racetracks, especially here, he's always been so unbeatable in this series, and you think you have him, and all of a sudden you don't. It just takes one little lapse of what is the word I'm thinking of? You know what I mean, but either way, lapse of judgment, lapse of focus, that's all it takes, especially on a track like this. And now he's going to have to work extra hard to try to get him back.
He's also got company on the back bumper. J.R. Shepard into the hairpin. Was all over the back of the 33. And I don't know if it's just me, but are we actually watching the all-black 33 around this place? I feel like trading paint's not working correctly.
That is incorrect, but either way, I'm sure he would. We've seen his paint scheme all season. We know what it looks like. We can visualize it ourselves. Jared Shepard's trying to visualize making a pass for that second spot. He's visualizing redemption for last week. He was on the right strategy. We talked about it so much at the end of last week. He had the right strategy. He was in front. He was very likely to win that race, and then he jumped ship, and he ended up somewhere in the top 5, but it was not a victory exactly like he wanted, and not what he wanted, as they're bumper to bumper in the top 3 right now.
Trying to get, it's been a weird couple of weeks here for Trading Paints. We'll do our best to get that fixed here as fast as possible.
See what
Watching
the
yeah, we're gonna watch here with second and third place. That's Shepard and Stravado. There it is. We fixed it.
That looks normal. Big slide off the corner for Dakota Floyd. Those rear tires, even though it's new pavement, it's very easy to wear those rear tires out. Floyd just about hit the inside wall there, I think, in the first corner there. I don't know if he did damage to it, but definitely tapped it a little bit. But so easy to light up the rears and lose rear grip so early on a run. And you're going to be going pretty long on this set of tires. Probably 25, 30 laps is around when we'll see pit stops, or on that halfway mark. So you cannot afford to wear the tires out in the first 10 laps, because you're going to have to ride a long way on this set if you do so.
It's 5 tire sets available, 4 over the wall. You can use those up quickly. In 55 laps here, it's half the distance, a little over half the distance at Sonoma. Jeff Wright already pulling out a lead over 1 second deeper in this field. Hit laughter. This is a road course ringer. We know that the 64 knows how to get around here. The 13 turns, I think this is a racetrack where the 64 can finish in the top 10.
Certainly showing that he could so far. Missed the hairpin a little bit there, but no harm, no foul. He's kind of on his own. Things have spread out pretty quickly for the most part. Not too spread out, but very single file. He's moved up to 8th since the start of this race. Hronis is in the 10th position. Not too many other drivers moving up through the field. One driver technically hasn't moved up through the field is Philip Brewer. He started from the pits because he lagged out of the session. He's already up to, I believe, the 17th position, so he's already climbed pretty far through the field.
Big mover here with Seth Padgel up 4 positions, up to 12th spot from 16th. So that is the biggest mover of the race so far. And I say that as that happens, Noah Mahalski also on the move, up 5.
Mahalski trying to get through the field. He's not too far ahead of Philip Brewer himself. Brewer started from the pit, started dead last in 27th, and he's already right behind in 16th. So we'll see how far that 44 can get through the field.
Philip Brewer started technically up in the top 10. 6th position for the 44. It's a long way to go, though. 10 spots to get up there. No track blockers here. And I don't know if you put in your odds here tonight, but when you see the over and under on cautions at 0.5, and you know that it's up to an admin to decide if you're going to get that correct, I'm going with under.
It's where we're thankful that it's not real gambling, so they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, I mean, only a track blocking incident will stop the race today, and there's really probably only one spot you can block the track. It's the short chute to turn that heads to turn 7, and maybe the hairpin. Those are about the only 2 spots you can block the track. Everywhere else, pretty wide open. Look for 5th position. Bailey Turner, Nathan Ferrata, haven't talked about them yet. They're battling for the 5th position. Ferrata trying to block a little bit, trying to protect. Turner little sideways under braking, but got the drivers right there. Still really hard to make that pass. Dirty air, yes, even at a road course, it matters. It's so hard to break through kind of that air bubble and make that pass, especially through the S's where that air is so crucial to get through the corners properly.
Riding on board with Bailey Turner, telemetry on the left-hand side of your screen. I see Z-Line on the back of the 77. So I gotta announce it. Connor, you've worked with him before. Scott Shive, a little contact there.
Yeah, he got in the bumper a little bit. Don't think it did damage, but definitely getting a little impatient, I would say.
It's back to what I was saying there. After the contact, Scott Shive works here on VSPEED a lot throughout this week, and one of the main components Tuesday nights every other week. The Misfit Touring Series and Misfit Summer Series. He's on Flow TV today.
Heck yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. I just wanted to announce that. Pretty awesome stuff. I think it's really cool to work with people that are in the real life counterpart. So shout out to Scott Shive. I wasn't around there. I told him, I said, you got to make one VSPEED reference. The whole time you're on the broadcast, make one. I can't confirm if that actually happened or not.
To go back and watch. Oh, they're side by side for 5th again. Maybe one day one of us will be on Flow. There's still time left for us as Turner finally gets that pass done. That was in a tricky area. Got it done down the S's. I think Ferrata maybe made a mistake. He might lose another spot to Kenny Kibbe here as they both went pretty deep under braking. Kibbe tried to force him wide, and he did.
Oh, and Ferrata just got really loose.
Gotta say, if his rears are already looking this cooked, he is going to be in for a rough 20-25 lap run to his pit stop.
Everybody here trying to aim for that halfway mark, but there's no guarantee. Something can happen to your car. You could burn your tires up and have to pit sooner than you want to. 100% fuel does help you get there, but if you burn these tires off, Connor, it doesn't mean anything.
No, I mean, you're going to have to really short pit if you burn them up this early, and you can really only short pit. I can't even imagine. You could probably pit around 20 and make it to the end of the race on fuel still, but that's going to be an even longer stretch on tires, and no guarantee you learn what you're doing wrong either, so you do not want to have to short pit because you cooked your tires that poorly. That's my one concern with Philip Brewer, is that he got to this 16th position very quickly, and he has not been able to get by Noah Mahalski, so I just worry about Brewer's tires as well as Ferrata's if they already burned their stuff off not even 10 laps in.
Again, Philip Brewer having to start from the pits. He's down 10 positions from where he qualified. That's what happens when you get back in traffic this deep in the field. Still working on Noah Mahalski, who's up 5. Get right up on the back bumper of the 03.
And that'll get him a little bit loose out of the corner. The arrow makes a little bit of a difference there, but it'll really... it won't do too much compared to obviously higher speed corners, but Brewer has been on the back bumper of the 03 the past 3 laps, just cannot find a way around. He's going to look drivers right, try to drive hard up the hill to get to his inside. That was actually really smart and well done, and Mahalski gave him room, but no, almost contact there. So Mahalski lost the rears. That's going to let Chuck Sweeting have a chance to get by around drivers right, but not quite able to do so.
Down the hill, though, looks like 75. Still going to keep the nose in there. No, going to back out of it into corner 6. Way out wide in the background, that was Tim Szymanski in the 07. Justin Ritchie. That's a driver that I'm really surprised started as deep in the field. Maybe the update here on iRacing had some effect to that, because I know Justin Ritchie is definitely fast at Sonoma.
Just has not been able to do really as much as we thought he would, for sure. He's up he's back 3 positions actually, and he had a little contact on the start with the 54, kind of set him back a little bit, and he just hasn't really been able to get through the field. As Sweet's going to take another look to the right of Mahalski, not able to do much with it. They stacked up into the hairpin there big time, but yeah, a little bit of contact. Don't see much damage for the 55. It would be on the right front. Don't see any, but not the start he wanted, and he could kind of afford this into points. He's still in a decent points position, but just not what he wants at all.
So it's Jeff Wright with a massive lead of over 2.5 seconds, 2.8 going in to the S's. Connor, you brought it up. I'm going to throw it out there. What do you think of that paint?
It's a pretty good paint scheme. Oh, that's $5 to Bradley's wallet.
There we go.
Much.
I had to do it.
That comes from Adam. So every time someone says it, it comes from Adam. Adam's like, no, it's not that good of a paint scheme.
Yeah, it's terrible.
This is what he does at Sonoma. We've seen it not only in this league. I've seen it for the past 8 years. It doesn't really matter what car comes here, whether it's the Gen 6, Gen 7, O'Reilly car, Gen 4.
And the update to the track on top of it.
It didn't change anything. He's still just really good here. And I think he finds it weird himself, because he's not that crazy good at a lot of tracks, a lot of other road courses, as Kibbe and Ferraro side by side for a position, but he's not that great at the other road courses. Whoa, Kibbe almost wrecked coming to the line, but he's not that great at other road courses. He's fast, but he will not dominate at Canadian Tire, Watkins Glen, really any other road course. But Sonoma, he just has it figured out.
Learned a lot from Jeff Wright. He does a fantastic job. You know, there's not many places that I go and I actually take pointers from drivers, but to get a top 10 at this racetrack, that's an accomplishment. It is such a hard place to get around. So when you're talking to everybody and you're trying to pick their brain, figure out what they're doing differently than you are, you can only hope to harness some of that energy, Connor. Jeff Wright definitely knows how to get around this place, and I will attest to that. It got me a 7th place finish at a racetrack I had no business being in the top 10.
Yeah, I wish I could figure out a track like this. I felt like I was close to Martinsville, then the Gen 7 came along, and I feel like I lost any advantage I had. But like I said, it does not matter what vehicle he goes to. As Kyle Peacock just missed the S's, but the 48, he gets this racetrack. There's no other way around it. It's good. Still, good run for Laptors continuing. He's trying to get the Kibbe. Now it's looking like Kibbe might have wore his stuff off. I was kind of worried about the 77. He's still squirrely, but Kibbe's pace all of a sudden not looking great.
Top 4 has not changed hands, with Wright, Travada, Shepard, and Floyd riding on board with Ben Lapter, trying to get around Kenny Kibbe and work his way towards the top 5. Bailey Turner about 5 seconds away.
I think it's going to be a tough task to get up to Bailey Turner. We'll see where Turner can get to. His pace looks pretty good. He's kind of been right with Dakota Floyd. They've kind of pulled away from Ferrata. Kibbe and Lapter still kind of just battling for position amongst themselves. Put Rob Hamp in there too. Once again, Rob Hamp all of a sudden into the top 10. He started there, so he's kind of just settled where he started. But once again, could be a pretty darn good result.
Did you get a chance to put the odds in here tonight, Connor?
Yeah, I put my life savings metaphorically on the 48. Why?
Okay. I picked Stravado in case anything went wrong. And I think the 33 has the goods. He's been putting in a lot of practice. AJ Stravado is absolutely, if you took us anywhere else, I think he would have the goods to win.
I would not be surprised. I mean, he's still very good here. He won a Canadian Tire. Before this season, his most recent win in the series had been on the road to Canadian Tire in the next-gen car. He gets around road courses very well. It's actually more so what he does on iRacing these days. He doesn't really run the official NASCAR series. He's more of an endurance racer on the road, more so than he does on oval. So this is pretty much more what he's used to on these tracks. Actually, very fast at these types of tracks. Just at Sonoma, Jeff Wright's a different breed, and he had the chance to keep the lead, just missed the hairpin, and that might be all she wrote if the 48 doesn't drastically fall off. And I kind of thought he'd pull away from the 98 a little bit, and hasn't really been able to. Shepard's kept him in line this entire run so far. 98 had some looks earlier, hasn't really been able to have a real look to pass the 33, but he stayed with him, and they pulled away from 4th place.
So no competition caution that I'm aware of.
No.
We've done that previously here in the 5 seasons prior to this moment. This one not going to have that. That kind of, it's a mixed bag here. Because you don't have the competition caution. You also got through the first segment of this race without an admin throw caution. Under 5, under 0.5, I think we're good to go here. This field is very, very spread out at this point.
Yeah, very spread out. There's not too many big battles. Turner has chased down Dakota Floyd a little bit, but he doesn't have a real look. Obviously, battle for second, relatively close. Kibbe, Laughter, Hamp still close to each other. Philip Brewer has gotten by not only Mahalski, but he did get by Matt Shanowski for 13th a number of laps ago. Mahalski, Ritchie, and then Tim Shanowski, Chuck Sweeting in a battle. Caleb Weekly, one of those drivers, kind of all on their own.
Yeah, Weekly looking pretty good. He's actually in the chat there for a little bit with Weekly, putting a lot of practice in for this week. Didn't want to look terrible here tonight, I believe was the way that Caleb phrased it. Not looking terrible. 12th place when there's 26 cars on the racetrack. Mid-pack, nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, definitely not. I think 12th place, they would take that. Pretty much would finish right around where they are in points, so wouldn't be much harm, much foul. Not running too far behind Angelo Horonis, only 2 positions separating them. Well ahead of Justin Ritchie and Elliot Butler in running order, who are ahead of them in points as well. So that's going to be a big deal as well. Could chase those 2 down in points. Maybe have a little bit more safety towards that cut line.
Caleb needs it to go well. He needs it to go well for this week. Only 3 races left. This is one of them in the regular season. We talked about Caleb Weekly in the points lead. I believe it was week 5. How quickly things can de-escalate. We're talking about new leaders all the way through the points. AJ Stravado, another one of those drivers that takes it back. Trailing Jeff Wright, who's just in the top 10. Led the points earlier in this season. Has had disconnect issues. We have Bailey Turner, who's led points here at one point. Then you have the 35, who's not on the racetrack tonight. Almost some contact here with Floyd and Turner. That's through the hairpin, 4th and 5th position on your screen. But again, Connor, you've only got one repeat champion. You've got multiple different people this season that have led the points. It's starting to feel like we're going to get our 5th champion.
Very well could. Stravado's been so great this season. Definitely the best season I think he's ran in this series. He's going to be a big threat as Ben Laughter just got around Kibbe for the 8th position. They're going to battle right now just behind that battle with Floyd. But Stravado's a big threat. Kenny Kibbe, he hasn't had a race victory, but he's been very solid all season. We don't go to any more road courses, so we don't go to any more road courses. It seems like he's wore his stuff out, so I think he'll be a threat. Seth Hatchell, he's been he's been the most consistent driver. Also no wins, but most top 10s in the series with 12. So he's got the consistency on the ovals himself. He's always going to be a threat to get a top 5, top 3, maybe scam a win. Philip Brewer, top 5 in points. Not as consistent, but he's been very close to getting victories himself. So we get back to ovals for the rest of the season. You have 4 drivers right there in the top 5 in points who are not champions, who could very easily get a championship themselves.
And you use the phrase scam, but what I think you really mean is just adapt to the situation. That's the underlying meaning. You got Seth Hatchell, who's really good at working the strategy. And I think that's where a lot of these guys in SNR, they're so mindset on the numbers pre-race that it's very hard to adapt if anything changes. This league notorious for going green and keeping each other honest. We're seeing here for second position. You can see so much variety of racing throughout the season. It's difficult to project who's the standout.
And scamming the title, that was probably not the best choice of words. Most of those drivers, I mean, they're top 5 in points for a reason. That would not be a scam of the title if they won. But I wouldn't call, I really would call Stravato in the top 5, Bailey Turner, they're still the favorites. Kibbe, Hatchell, Brewer, they haven't won. I think you're going to need to win at least one race to get a championship in this chase format. It just carries so many more points if you can get that victory. But it'll definitely be a well-deserved championship if they can get that done. You still got Banks and Wright 7th and 8th in points. Obviously, Wright will go forward in the points. Jared Shepard 6th in points. We know what he can do. And then after that, it's kind of hard to say that guys like Butler, Richie Weekly will compete for a title. You just never know. But I think anyone in the top 8 in points can win the championship right now. All those 8 from Stravato to Jeff Wright, they're definitely the ones competing for top 5s, competing for victories week in, week out. Anyone in those top 8 could win it if we get down to it. And it's going to be a pretty wild chase kind of stretch after our 4th of July off week. We start with Talladega. It doesn't get any crazier of a start than that. You could kind of end your chances at a championship right then and there. And it's hard to survive Talladega. And after that, a little bit more normal, but you go to Bristol, the penultimate race, second to last race. I think Kansas, where it can get pretty wild as well, even though it's kind of technically a straightforward 1.5 miles. But Kansas can get pretty wild, especially with these cars. We saw it last season. Banks puts the 48 in the wall, almost ruined the 48's title chase. So you never know what can happen.
There's the outline on your screen with the whole SNR chase. 5 weeks all the way into August 9th. August 8th, rather. And Connor, I'm not going to be there for the final race of the season. I just want you to know that.
No, how dare you?
I know.
Finally, 98 kind of fade off to 33 a little bit, but everyone's still slower than the 48. 48, Jeff Wright here at a 1 minute 19.87. Stravato was about 4/10 slower than that. Bailey Turner was about 1.5 seconds off of that. So it just shows how much pace the 48 really has. He's already lapping cars. Seth Hatchell's already coming to pit road. This is pretty early as far as pitting goes, and I got to imagine this is a scheduled pit stop for the 8, but definitely earlier than I thought it would be.
Spread out here a little bit. Dakota Floyd trying to catch up last time by 1,000th or 2 faster than Bailey Turner, but he is catching up, riding on board with the 57. And
Riding with Yoshi.
He got a Yoshi head, yeah.
I dig it. But it'd be incredible if that was also doubling as like a GoPro cam.
Yeah, we need an onboard GoPro.
That would be awesome.
Here, this is the best I can do.
Decent pace. I think he lost some time that previous set of corners, though, in that sector. But decent run, top 5. And I got to say, I was so concerned about Farada's tires, but he's actually chasing these 2 down currently. So his pace is actually pretty good right now. Once again, no one really... Well, I would say that time Jeff Wright's pace was not as good, but I believe he had to get around a lapped car. The 57, motoring pretty strong. Talked about him a lot this season as well. Very good runs. It's really close to that cut line. Probably doesn't deserve to be that close to that cut line. He's had a lot of great runs foiled late in the race after late race yellows.
Well, and I think part of it is this car. This car with the updates and everything that we've saw since, I think it was week 3 that we actually had an update. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Connor, but I think it was
so.
The season had began, and then we got an update on this car. So everything that we knew about the B-Class car changed. And then we have track updates on top of that. Sonoma is not what it was last season, or the last time we came here.
last time we came here, heck, it's been about 3 years. It was still
Yeah.
first season, Gen 4 cars, old Sonoma. Same Jeff Wright, he dominated that race too. Was not really close, but completely different. It's a completely different service compared to what it was 3 years ago. I mean, completely different. So many different tracks. The cars are completely different now. Gen 4 is not remotely the same at all. So, and they're still making a lot of updates. In a few seasons, we might get a new tire. The tire the next gen's on is a little different than the one that this car's still on, and it could produce better racing. We'd have to wait and see. As Weekly trying to outbrake the 31 to keep this spot. Really slammed on the brakes. 31 puts it a bumper to Weekly. Weekly slammed on the brakes, trying not to miss the corner. It worked out.
Weekly will hold on to that 12th position for the time being. Watching the battle here for 12th spot. Car down pit road, that's Kenny Kimmy.
Responding to the 8 a little bit. I feel like these are pretty early pit stops for a one stop. Like I said, you can go to the end on fuel from here, but I believe this is pretty early, especially for drivers who are wearing their stuff out. I like the 14. Kimmy came in, Hatchell came in, Justin Ritchie also came in that same lap. Jeff Wright doesn't care.
No, he's still running 118s or 119s.
Another half second faster than the 33 that lap. Probably be more of the same. You'll get some lap traffic, but as Justin Ritchie actually went a lap down pitting, it's just that blistering of a pace the 48's putting on. And it was another 19.7 lap, and that time Travato was 1.2 seconds slower.
That's insane.
It's almost like it's a rubber band right now. You got some drivers who look like they're wearing their stuff out early in the run, but then they're coming back later in the run, like a Ferrata. And then guys who I thought would have decent pace as the 50 kind of loses some spots there. You got some guys who look to be good long run, like the 24 after he made some passes, and now all of a sudden not the same pace that we saw.
And Rob Ham kind of a sleeper here in the top 10. Philip Brewer going to come down pit road in the 14 or 44, and top 10 there for the 44 so far. We're watching Ben Lapter there just a moment ago with Rob Hamp coming through these corners. Hamp has been a sleeper in this race. I like where the 18 is.
Pretty good pace, half a second faster than the 64 of Laughter. Trying to chase him down. Once again, we get to that kind of half-second bubble, a little bit less than that, 0.3, 0.4 of a second. That bubble, dirty air, it really started affecting the car. Really wants to push tight, especially in the S's, so all that time he can gain in the slower speed corners, he loses a lot of it through the S's before they get to the hairpin. Really tough to make that work. Go to Floyd on pit road.
This racetrack spreads out so quickly. I can't quite give you a full, but they're all the way around this racetrack. Philip Brewer, there you go. There's cars everywhere on this track at this point.
Battle Kid be trying to get through some of these guys who haven't pit on his new tires. He's in a battle with Hatchell. His tires 2 laps fresher than Hatchell's, so he'll try to get back behind as quickly as he can, but still going to be pretty difficult to do. I think those drivers who short pit at the perfect time will probably benefit. I still think the guys who have already pit, it's a little bit too early, but I get wanting to get the track position over some of those drivers they were battling.
Closest battle on the racetrack right now. Looking through Seth Hatchell trying to get around the 15. Chris Hodges going to allow the 8 car on fresher tires around for 16th spot. Kimmy also going to go by. Felton Stewart next in line for that. That is the closest battle in the racetrack. Then you have Matt Shinosky. Kayla Weekly just ahead. On board with the 31.
Been hounding the back bumper of Weekly, just cannot find a way around. Just not able to do anything. Weekly putting up a good defense. Well, it's for now the 10th spot. Will not be later, but 31 I think is faster. Just cannot find a clean piece of racetrack to get around the 13.
Got a little bit loose there across the start-finish line. We'll watch and we'll keep an eye on the 13 and 31 here for the next few laps. Starting to shape up a little bit here with Rob Ham and Ben Laughter. We'll keep an eye here for a moment. Seems like the 31 is faster. The first half of the racetrack, Weekly is faster.
So when we've really seen the 31 close in is that second half of the racetrack. Already had some contact in the hairpin, was looking to have a move through the S's the previous lap around, but lost maybe too much time in the first half of the track this time to really have a legit look for that position. It looks like Ben Laughter is going to pit from his top 10 position. It's another front runner in, inching closer to that halfway point, but not quite there yet, as Shinosky really struggled this lap.
A little bobble there from the 13 and Weekly, though. Probably going to put their lap times about even. We'll put the lap times on the left-hand side of your screen. That's the difference right there.
Oh.
Stravato is starting to pick up the pace, but it's over 8 seconds.
Tim Shinosky in. Malski missed the hairpin a little bit. Hatchell and Kibbe just caught the 0-3. But Laughter going to come out kind of in a hornet's nest a little bit. He's going to enter right in the middle of that battle that's going by the start-finish line. Hatchell, Mahalski side by side. Ooh, this is going to be tight. But he's going to get out in clean air. That's really important.
Just ahead of it.
He's got those cold tires to deal with. We'll have to get him up to speed pretty quickly, but it's not as drastic as it would be in an open-wheel car. So he should be able to keep those spots. So that was actually the perfect pit lap for him.
64 looking like a top 10 car. Beth Hatchell pitted very early compared to the rest of this field. And for Ben Laughter to get out ahead of him, we're talking about 7 lap difference here on the stint for Ben Laughter. And he still got out ahead of Hatchell.
You can see the difference.
Yeah, it's such a difference.
He's already gone. I mean, came out right in front of them. Borderline bumper to bumper, it's already over. I mean, they're not going to be able to chase them down at any point. So it was literally the perfect pit lap. He's able to get out in front of them, and not just in front of them, but he got out in perfectly clean air. I mean, there is no one in front of him for a long time.
13 and Caleb Weekly going to come down pit road. We'll see. There it is. 75 of Sweeting just behind it.
Sweeting's in a little bit of left front damage. Not quite sure. Trying to look when that happened myself. I think he must have maybe hit the wall in the short chute probably to get a damage like that, or maybe another car. Maybe he hit the wall entering the pits possibly. But he will probably not have a chance to repair that damage.
Well, they get deeper and deeper into these pit stop cycles. I'm really surprised, Connor, that we've had so much variety. We're not seeing 7 or 8 cars come down. We're seeing them 1 or 2 at a time. That is very difficult. We know Jeff Wright has a massive lead. AJ Estrada, JR Shepard, they're probably 16, 17 seconds ahead of most of these guys after pit stops. But when you cycle this race, it's difficult to know outside the top 5 who's got the winning strategy.
Oh, spin right in front of the leader.
Oh,
actually,
it's a 15.
Ooh, that could have been dangerous. That's the last thing Jeff Wright wants to see is someone spinning right in front of him. That was Chris Hodges, who was running 15th. Comes out, rejoins right in front of the 33. That was incredibly tight. That's the last thing the leaders want to see, because that's about the only way those drivers would lose a spot. Does that just look like, I think it was all on his own. And then, yeah, we'll see right here. His top 3, Stravato actually just did pit. See what happened here. Yeah, all on his own. It's almost looked like he came around so much, it almost looked like he shifted down or something, because that was just a very drastic spin. Bailey Turner's going to pit live, and then he comes up trying to rejoin the track, and he is as far left as he possibly can. It's just in an awkward spot. I'm not sure what else he can really do there. Just an awkward situation. No harm, no foul.
And we're past the halfway point here at Sonoma. Jeff Wright has led every single lap so far. No surprise, yet to come down pit road. But past that halfway mark, I would assume to see the 48 come down this time around, if not next.
He could probably afford to go another 2 to 3 laps with the gap he had and just the pace advantage he had, really. So we'll see how long he wants to risk it. I'm sure he won't want to risk it too much because clean air matters, and he's just going to bring it in, not even give the 33 a chance. Don't go too deep. Don't hit that left side wall like the 75 did, and he did just that.
The Hot Fries Pepsi 48 will come into pit road at lap 28.
Pretty much right around halfway. I mean, this time by pretty much was halfway. J.R. Shepard also pit. I think I saw Costin. Rob Hamp's also going to pit.
Entry on pit road can be difficult. Here we go.
We'll see. I mean, I don't think the 33 is going to get too close to the 48. But, you know, those tires still make a big difference. The fall-off was roughly about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, maybe more. And 48's already going up the hill.
That's a massive lead.
He comes out right behind Elliott Butler, so he'll still have a little bit more lap traffic to deal with. 33's got clean air. I'm sure he likes that, as Max Koss just went wide up the hill, turn 2, letting the 98 by.
I'm sure that Stravano doesn't like the fact that he has a low lap, though.
You know, if he keeps the lead and doesn't make a mistake, could be a different race, but the 48's pace advantage is so big, I can't imagine there would have either been... I can't imagine he would have been able to hold off the 48 for 55 laps, or I can't imagine there wouldn't have been contact between them if it came down to that, because that 48, I mean, is just so much better. Oh, the Stork comes down the pit. Still some drivers left the pit. They're so far behind, they're not going to cycle out to the race lead. I don't believe, I'm not sure if Mahalski's pit yet, but he's a little further down the order. Yeah, he has pit this time. Have pit stops pretty much cycled out at this point. That back Lavic, easy at the pit, so he'll bring it in. That should pretty much end pit cycle. So this is pretty much the order that cycled out to. Ben Lafter came out 5th for the time being.
You got Shoemaker and Lakatos. They're battling for position 13, 14. Yet to hit pit road. 29 laps on the stint here.
Yeah, Shoemaker, he kind of spun at the start of the race, so he's just trying to play different strategy, maybe get some positions using fresher tires. He's got that left front damage from hitting the wall in the front stretch, but that was a separate thing.
Here comes the 54.
See how long Ben Lafter can keep that 24 behind him. We know 24 is fast, and he has fresher tires than Ben Lafter, but it is a top 5.
So cycling out to your race lead by over 5 seconds, Jeff Wright. Halfway through this race and beyond that point, 30 laps in at Sonoma. One final corner to come across that start-finish line. And we'll get 30 laps led. With the Sonoma defending champion. Don't go anywhere. We have more coverage to continue here from Sonoma Raceway here on VSPEED. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League. More coverage will continue right after this.
Real quick, you both stop real quick, double check the steering wheel.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious. victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back here to the Sonoma Raceway. Well past the halfway point, 33 laps underway. Connor Horn, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. And we watched it thus far. Not a lot of competition for the lead, Connor, but a lot of competition outside of this top five. You watched the top four stay the same names all race long, with Jeff Wright, Stravano, Shepard, and Floyd. But the top 10 is very much up for grabs here.
Most drama we had with a lead was turn 11, lap 1, and that was pretty much the end of it. Jeff Wright's led every lap tonight, even despite only leading on the exit of turn 11 up to turn number 12. But yeah, like you mentioned, pretty good action throughout the entire field. Travato's cleared Shepard for the second spot. Floyd is pretty much running on his own. Ben Lafter, Nathan Ferrata doing battle for position.
This is a replay back on lap 1. This is actually all the way back to it.
And, you know, 33 really not even pressured. I mean, we talked about earlier already. Just entered the corner, went too deep, and then tried to get on the throttle here and lit the rears up. So really didn't have a chance to defend the 48 from just getting the lead back easily. And, you know, if he keeps clean air, who knows how the race goes. Like I said, I think the 48's pace was probably still too much to overcome, but would have had a chance if not for that, I would say.
That's a heck of a rewind to go back 33 laps when we figured it out. And since then, the lead has stretched over 7.5 seconds. It dropped down to 7 seconds, but now it's backed up to 7.5. That's how quickly things happen here at Sonoma. It's one corner. You have 13 opportunities to make a mistake.
not too many mistakes tonight either. 54 had a little slide, 75 made a mistake entering the pits, but relatively clean race for the most part. 15 had a slide, he's exited the race, but pretty clean race. Not much has happened. Rob Hamp, fresher tires than the 8 of Hatchell. Got that pass done in the hairpin, did from a long ways back, actually. Strategy, 98 has fresher tires than the 33, but he has not been able to close in really at all, so AJ Travato looking to be on for maybe a second place finish, would extend that points lead as it runs over Bailey Turner. He's settled in the 5th position. He's trying to chase down Dakota Floyd. He is faster, but not fast enough currently. Jared Shepard in 3rd, pretty solidly on his own. He's got about 16 seconds back to Dakota Floyd for that spot, so he's really all alone at this point.
Shepard is a 10th faster last time by left-hand side of your screen. Let's see what it is this time around. A 10th slower. So you lose a 10th, gain a 10th, it stagnates.
He just kind of sits there. I don't think he'll be able to get there, but you never know. His pace was pretty good kind of near the end of that long run, but then the 33 started stretching it out again as, whoa, Eldon Stort just spun at the top of the hill. Ooh, he hit the barrels. He hit the tires pretty hard, too. Was battling for about 21st with Elliott Butler. And that's probably going to end his race.
That's a slide.
He kept it in the throttle, too. Made sure to pound the rear end of that car. It just looked like maybe a little bit too much rear brake. He got really sideways braking up the hill. It could just never catch it, overcorrect it, and then just fired it into the tire bundle over there. You can see it. He was just entered too deep, really, is why it slid sideways like that. Just really had no control.
Staying in the throttle was to try to keep it away from that outside wall.
Someone tells me he was not happy with how his race was going.
It's easy to get frustrated here.
Pancake the back end of that thing, so it's going to be another exit from this race. Keith Shoemaker, Kyle Peacock, Christopher Hodges, they're all already out of the race. He would be the 4th driver out. Certainly some battles get closer. Kibbe and Hatchell still pretty close. They're on similar strategies. Kibbe actually just ended that battle, just got the 8th position. And that's because Rob Hamp had a little bit of a mistake that we missed somewhere because he lost a number of positions.
Yeah.
I think it was in the S's, trying to get by Kibbe and might have had some contact.
Here we go.
He can chase them down. He has fresher tires than these two. Still on track, fell back to 10th. So run. Yeah, and they had contact there. Yeah, that's a tough place to go side by side, for sure. But he had such a big run, you can't just let him go.
I was saying, you get like 4 or 5 opportunities in the entire race to pass somebody.
Yeah, I think you gotta go for it. I think Kibbe just did not get off of 7 well down the hill at all. Just lost all momentum, and Hamp went for it, and they came together. I don't think either driver swerved into the other. They just don't have room to really go side by side there. But it's gonna hurt Hamp's chances at a top 8. Hopefully the tires aren't too bad because he's got Angelo Hronis and Philip Brewer right behind him.
Nathan Ferrata on board, and Laughter has been superior this week. Held off the 77 so far. Still 4 seconds up here to Bailey Turner. The top 5, another level. This is the closest battle on the racetrack for the top 10.
Top 5 pretty fast, but top 3, I mean, are the ones that are standing out. If you look at the gaps, Jeff Wright obviously league of his own, but then, Stravato Shepard's still within 11 seconds, and then it's another 18 seconds from Shepard to Floyd. I mean, that gap is still growing from Shepard to Floyd. I mean, those 3 have been just a world better, and then it's another pretty big gap from Ferrata to Kibbe from 7th to 8th. That's how spread out things can get, but those top 3 are just so much faster lap after lap.
So Jeff Wright continues to lead. It's 38 laps led. Did we expect anything different here, Connor?
Not really. This is pretty much what I expected. We knew we were going to Sonoma. Everyone knew Jeff Wright was probably going to be the fastest, and he's proven it. He was not the first one to pit road, nor was he the last one to pit road, even, but he was still able to lead all the laps through that pit cycle. It shows how fast he is.
Cycling through with your top three, AJ Stravado. Not far off the pace, only a couple tenths, but still looking pretty good for a podium finish. With J.R. Shepard behind, as they've been able to fend that off. Lately, Shepard's been a little bit faster. It's over 3.5 seconds. I don't think the 98's going to be able to catch up to him.
He'll extend the points lead over the 24 of Turner to a few more points, so I think he'll take that. Using up all the racetrack he can, got in the grass on the left there. I don't think it helped his entry to that corner, but definitely I think he'll call it the best of the rest for himself. I mean, that's probably how he feels. That's how I would feel with the 48 at Sonoma. Definitely best of the rest. J.R. Shepard was pretty close to him that entire first run, just was not able to close in and make really any legitimate move for that second spot. And then he stayed out a lap later, trying to get fresher tires, use that to his advantage. It just hasn't worked. He has not been able to close in enough at all. But pretty solidly in that third position, like we mentioned. No really anyone relatively close to him. Another great run. He's building closer and closer to that first victory of the season, as he's been so close plenty of times this year. As finally Ferrata gets Ben Lafter for the 6th position. He was trailing him for so many laps.
Looking back on an instant replay and watch what happened. They got side by side out of the S's.
Not traffic ahead. Don't think it played much of a factor at all.
It's just a mistake here.
Yeah, Lafter just missed the corner, just didn't get turned in enough. Maybe too much brake, couldn't turn it because of that possibly, and it let Ferrata get drivers right. And both of them drove really hard into the corner. You see Ferrata's car kick sideways, but Lafter just didn't get it on the binders enough, kind of wheel hopped. You could kind of see the car hop a little bit as well. He just had no grip to be able to deal with the 77. He's back to him, though. I mean, they got lap traffic in front of him that's not letting the 77 get away quite yet, but I think getting back by him is going to be hard to do.
I believe that's Max Cost and the 63 just ahead of that.
And Elliott Butler. It is for position. They're battling for their own spot. It's 21st position. Cost just got by him. Not the day Elliott Butler wanted. He runs a lot better than that.
Not over.
Ferrata's going to get the Butlers inside. Butler will probably have to yield here. Not going to yield for Lafter. And that's probably going to end the battle. Whoa, look out. Cost going to lay over Ferrata, so that's going to let the 77 get away.
An ascend here.
Whoa, that was a bit too much of a send. Almost slammed the 63 of Cost. Probably a little upset. It was probably a frustration send. Probably thought the 6 should have yielded. And, you know, after Butler let Ferrata by, he probably should have let the 64 by. It wasn't the case, and it worked out for Butler. He's able to get that spot back for Max Cost, which is now for the 20th spot.
And the 6 of Butler gets back around Cost for 20th spot. And I gotta know, what happened to Noah Mahalski here?
Looks like he has dropped out.
There's another problem here with Hamp.
Couldn't quite see what happened. I think it was just Mahalski just leaving the session, and that was what we saw earlier with the 18. That was the same incident with Kibby. It just looks like the 03 decided to call it quits from what I saw. So nothing to do with the 18. Mahalski was just done racing.
See if I can find out, because he was...
Oh, Rob Hamp and Elliott Butler. They almost crashed in the hairpin, though. That was close. Yeah, I think he just brings it down the pit lane and calls it a day. Only other thing I could think of if he wasn't just quitting is that maybe he underfueled and was frustrated. But either way, he definitely gave up. And now the battle for fourth is on. Oh, man, Dakota Floyd just threw a big block for that spot.
Sorry to keep hitting the replay button. Somebody might have crashed. If that's all I keep getting notifications for.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's the Butler a little bit sideways there as Turner just did complete that pass for 4th on the 57. A little bit of contact was done, but made it work.
And then you mentioned this battle here between the 57 and 24. We'll just kind of pick up where we left off in that.
And Turner, you know, caught him from a long ways back, fresher tires, just faster on the long run compared to Dakota Floyd, and no one else in that battle. It's just 1v1, basically. No lap traffic to dictate it. And right here, 24 gets such a good run. Almost faked drivers right there, decided to stay in line. And then he's still going to have a good run off of 4A, and the 57 just going to throw a huge block, swerve to the right, force Turner the long way around, but Turner's actually going to be able to make that work, stay even with the 57. And Floyd tried to run him a little out of room there, tried to squeeze him, and then side by side through here, really tough to do without crashing. A little more contact there possibly, but Floyd had the lift, and just good driving from the 24. Good drive for both of them.
Great racing here at Sonoma. If you're enjoying tonight's action, there's a lot of lap traffic ahead of Jeff Wright. Anything could go wrong.
That's what he doesn't enjoy. He's kind of trying to get by these guys as quickly as possible. A little bit of a wiggle. His tires aren't in great condition either. Caleb Weekly is 15th.
13 a Weekly. Gonna let Jeff Wright go by on the inside. 31 of Matt Shinosky. This is for position for 15th, just behind the leader as they go by. 14 cars still on the lead lap. Tim Shinosky in the 07, just ahead of the 48.
Yeah, Shinosky's pace has been pretty decent tonight. One of the better runs for Tim Shinosky for sure. Chuck Sweeting's kind of closing out on that battle as well for that 15th position. Also, Rob Hampus chased back down Kibbe and Hatchell, although his tire's probably in worse shape. It's going to be a harder pass to make at this point in the run.
Hamp definitely a top 10 car, though.
Yeah. Ooh, Sweeting almost had a slide out of the final corner, but he kept it straight. But yeah, this pass is going to be really tough on older tires. Not a lot of grip to get out of the corners with any force. Using all the force over the curb there in 4A, though.
A little bit of a tap. Over the 8.
That's tap number 1 saying, hey, I'm here. I caught you from far way back. It's Weekly and Shinosky.
I was here before, and I'm going to let you know I'm back.
Whoa, Weekly and Shinosky just had some contact. Weekly's dirt tracking.
Maybe not happy about it?
A little bit of a bump and run. I don't know if Shinosky meant it, but that 31's been behind Caleb Weekly all race. So I would understand if he was just done riding.
Yeah, 10 to go, I think, at that point.
Time to go.
Yeah.
Weekly just kind of didn't get up the hill, really, with any sort of speed. Wiggles right there a little bit. Right there. And then goes deep up the hill and then really slows up here. Right there is where the tap is.
And probably not intentional from Shinosky.
No, just the 13 checked up a lot, but I don't know if the 13 can get back to the 31 to repay the favor, as Hamp is looking drivers right on the 8 of Hatchell for that 9th position. Just can't quite get there.
I think he's going to get there. He just can't go to the outside or inside. He's there 100%.
Once any chance at Kenny Kibbe for 8th or even Ben Lafter up the road a lot for 7th, he's going to have to make quick work of them. And I think Lafter's probably out of the conversation of getting passed by either of these drivers, but he can definitely still get to Kibbe.
There's 2 spots here in front of the 18.
I don't wonder if Rob Hamp was having these types of runs from the start of the season. He'd probably be right on that chase cut line. Just had really rotten luck for most of the season. Crashed late at Nashville, having a good run as well. Most recent unfortunate thing. He even spun in this race and could have already been past these guys. Could have even been with the 64. He's back 29th in points, which is hard to believe with how good he's been running as of late.
Yeah, we're talking about almost 10 seconds, over 10 seconds, to Hamp back here. Running in the 6th position for a lot of this day. Still has the opportunity to get 8th position. We'll have to keep an eye on this. Oh, another shunt there to the back end. Seth Hatchell.
That was a second bump saying, "Hey, I'm faster." that one
that's
actually crinkled.
intentional.
I think that one crinkled the right rear bumper. He hit him so hard that time.
He said, "I don't care if you have a VSPEED logo on your hood. Get out of my way."
Does he pay us for hitting that logo?
I think he should.
Does he earn one for hitting it? He needs some logos on that 18.
Yeah, it's like a little bear.
He's definitely getting impatient. But I don't think him and Hatchell have many issues. He had issues with the 14. Didn't hit him that time.
If he keeps it up, Seth will let him know. Why are you getting my boy mixed up here? Seth's doing a great job, though.
Yeah, short pit with the 14. It's gotten him into the top 10, but Hamp is a little faster. Tried to force the issue. Couldn't quite do it there, but he's run out of time to try to challenge the 14. And he gets held up any longer. I mean, Philip Brewer and Angelo Horonis are not too far behind.
These are the closest cars on the racetrack, mind you. We're talking about 2/10 compared to over 2 seconds for most of the field.
Oh, there he goes. A little bit of a late dive, but Hatchell gave him the room to do it, but Hatchell's going to get a good run down the hill, keep that spot.
Again, for 9th position. 8th spot, Kibbe starting to pull away a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit every lap.
He wants so badly to dive deep into the hairpin and just kind of force him out of the groove. He just can't do it.
Well, and Connor, you've been behind the wheel of these things. It is so difficult to move somebody and not actually wreck them.
Yeah, especially in these cars. For some reason, it doesn't matter what contact. You hit him a little bit wrong. He's going to hit him even more there. It's the third one. Usually the third tap is you're getting turned, but it wasn't the case that time. But, yeah, these things really hard to bump and run. That's why you see so many cautions at Martinsville when we run this car at Martinsville, because there's no such thing as a bump and run. If you hit them just a little bit, they're probably going to spin and wreck, as Chuck Sweetings had a spin out of turn 11, but he kept it straight. Hamp all over the bumper and hit the 8 a little bit again. Just a little bit of a loop. It might not be we've seen a few drivers do that. You can see how many of the just a lot of rubber going that way, really.
I'm doing my best here. There's a lot.
Whoa, there he goes. That's the dive I was talking about. He finally just said, "I'm done with it. I'm diving to your driver's right," and he's gonna get the job done doing it. Late move, but that was great, but not done, not quite clear. Hatchell lifted for him. I think he realized Hamp was faster. He's like, "All right, I am not gonna wreck myself trying to keep him behind."
All right, so we gotta go back one more time and watch this move. That dive to the inside.
That was pretty late, and it was a little bit out of control. You could see him kind of miss the apex, but Hatchell gave him plenty of room to be able to make that work.
Yeah, he short shifted too. You could hear it on the audio there. And he's not going to give up though. And with 5 to go, I think Gibby holds him up for a little bit, because he's battled with Hatchell for over 10 laps. Gibby's not going to let him by. Hatchell could get right back into this mix. This 8th through 10th spot is still, we don't know. It could end up being Brewer, a second and a half back.
Yeah. I mean, it could get physical, and it could go down the drain really quickly. And it's still the closest battle on track. Everything else pretty spread out. It's really these 5 that have found each other near the end of this one.
Hamp was a tenth faster than Kibbe the last time around. And
See if he
through the
dives.
S's, he's really
Oh,
got
yeah.
the move.
Whoa, way too
That's
deep.
a send. Kibbe gets moved out of the way. Hamp says, I'm not going to give the situation here.
I guess he didn't even give Kibbe a chance to battle for it. We know what he thought about the contact in the S's.
I believe he did.
And that damaged the 14's rear way more than damaged the 8. That 14's probably going to have a lot less rear grip for the next 6 laps.
Put him into a blender, I believe, there.
Put him in a cheese grater, he hit him so hard.
Kyle Peacock in there. Will he repay him? Well, you saw it live, as you said it.
I mean, that was obvious.
I'll have to go here with Jeff Wright.
He didn't leave it up to chance at all. Now Kibbe's probably going to have a tough time holding Hatchell off with that damage. And even slower, even closer come Philip Brewer and Angelo Horonis.
Yeah, they're within a second now.
Jeff Wright's just asking where everyone went, because he's just all alone again.
Look behind.
Nope. Oh, there's someone. There's
I believe
someone.
it's a 55 of Richie.
That is Justin Ritchie. Strado has closed in a little bit. At least it seems like it. It was about 11 seconds. But not going to be close enough. This is perfect drive. We've been talking about a few times. It was pretty perfect at Charlotte as well. Charlotte led 150 of 200, so led 3/4 of that race. And now he is about 5 laps away from complete perfection.
Yeah, he's about to lead 100% of it after starting on the top spot. It doesn't get much better than that.
He was fastest in practice. He was fastest in qualifying, and he had the lead. He's had the lead for every lap. It does not get much better than that if he can hold on.
Yeah, I think he will. Still shaping up back here with Hatchell. This is the top 10. Kibbe pulling away a little bit there. Brewer 6/10 back. On the hunt.
Someone's going to get someone at some point. Just a matter of who gets who. Oh, Brewer drifting through the hairpin. That's going to really hurt his run. Trying to get Hatchell for that top 10. Oh, still lighting him up. Gonna give Horonis a shot. Not quite close enough, but gotta say Horonis' tires are probably a little better.
Why about 7 or 8 laps?
He just hasn't been able to use them. It just seems like he's been behind the 44 for a pretty long time now. But yeah, he pit lap 28. Brewer pit lap 22, 21. So yeah, it's about 7-8 laps fresher, but 29 really hasn't been able to take advantage of it. Not the way I thought. You would think that much fresher tire, he would have gotten him a long time ago. But I think he had to chase him down by a pretty wide margin. Also, don't look now, but battle for 6th is pretty close. Ben Lafter's actually lost that spot to Nathan Ferrata.
54 behind, a lap down.
Sorry. Excuse me, 64 has chased him down is what's happened.
I'm saying the 54 behind there, Bryce Shoemaker. A lap down there. 3 to go. Laughter could absolutely get by.
Not sure.
That's right,
I'm not
back
sure.
on board.
Not sure if Ferrata just wore stuff out or he's having maybe fuel issues, but he's been significantly slower past few laps. Laughter's closed back in. Hatchell Kibbe going the battle up the hill. Laughter trying, using up all the racetrack. All the way to the curbing. The 14 really lost a lot of grip. Patchell's able to get that 9th spot. Now Kibbe might fall back out of a top 10. But Laughter right on the bumper of Ferrata for that 6th spot. Brewer got by the 14 and even moved him out of the way a little bit. Kibbe has been used up. He got by up the hill. Then Brewer's going to see his opportunity in a couple of corners. Lapper just put the bump to Ferrata almost. Didn't quite hit him there.
Well, you see a little bit of damage on the right rear.
It's from Rob Hamp, and 44 just gets a run, goes for it, and a little bit too deep. A little bit too deep. A little bit of wheel hop there, as Brewer's now having to deal with Hronis live. Not happening too far in front of the race leader, as they're taking 2 to go, as Hronis slides, gets the wall a little bit. 48's only a corner away from a white flag.
This will make it official. No admin cautions can be thrown at this point. Jeff Wright nearing perfection at Sonoma Raceway. 13 corners, 55 laps from the pole, and a new paint scheme, and has held the connection all race long. That was one of the factors that we had talked about last week, is he had internet connection issues, and what would have been a podium finish now has put it all together.
Would you say it's the paint scheme?
I think it was before that. I had
okay.
for quite a bit helping, talking. You know, I admire these guys over at SNR and what they put together. It's just 6 solid seasons so far. We're approaching the chase format again. And the competition level, we knew coming into this race, Connor, it was going to be so difficult to top what Jeff Wright has done here in California. And he's proven it again. 10-second lead coming into the final corner of the race. Jeff Wright will find his way to victory lane yet again. The 48 in a new paint scheme, new venue, the refresh, the repave, doesn't matter. Jeff Wright, victorious. Saturday Night Racing League Season 6 at Sonoma.
And it's still a lot of racing behind him before we get to that celebration, that burnout. Lapter able to get by Ferrata on the final lap as well. Got it done up the hill. Ferrata just, I think, just wore the tires out. No rears left. Brewer and Hronis still going to battle for the 10th position. I think 64 is going to pull away with that finish.
It's not done yet here for the 44 and 29. 14 still in the mix of as well. We might see a send here.
No. Angelo's won the send it that much.
Ooh, he's thinking about it.
Tried to, couldn't quite get there, but Hatchell and Brewer are going to complete that top 10. Kibbe's got to settle for 12th. And that's all our drivers on the lead lap.
Oh, man. Hronis did everything he could do, though.
Needed one more lap.
I got to go back here, though. This is behind Ferrata. Or Ben Laughter.
This is, it would have to be 2 to go.
Hello. He gave him a shove.
He chased him down from a long ways back, too. Showed the nose, spooked him, saying like, all right, let me fake you, see if I can fake you offline. Didn't quite work there.
There's a little bit to go, so we're gonna fast forward through this.
Yeah, really up the hill. They really didn't come too, they weren't too far behind Dakota Floyd, honestly. Right here, if this is the white flag, 77, just really slow up the hill. Yeah, but just really didn't get off the corner. I mean, he didn't even slide the tires there. He just really didn't get on the throttle, and then Laughter was able to get to his left, and there's just nothing Ferrata could fight with, and that was the difference right there.
And this poor guy, I mean, Travado did everything right. He ran a good race. If Jeff Wright's not on this racetrack, he wins this race by 6.5 seconds.
I mean, you just never know. If he doesn't go wide in that hairpin, he could very easily have won it. I think he'll probably understand the 48's pace was just that good, and P2 was maybe as good as it was going to get. Jeff Wright, just simply unbeatable here most days, if not every day.
Post-race interviews with your top three. Those final race results. You are watching Saturday Night Racing League live from Sonoma Raceway. Post-race coverage right after this.
Real quick, people stop the real quick cut. Double check the steering wheel.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
I knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa. Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back to Sonoma Raceway, where Saturday Night Racing League has concluded its 55 laps. Caution free here tonight, as to be expected. No track blockers here in this event. And Jeff Wright, also to be expected, becomes victorious for another one here. Final results up on your screen with the race recap. Your lead changes. AJ Stravano, he led the first probably 2 miles of this race, Connor, but wasn't able to get across that start finish line and get lap 1. Jeff Wright led every single lap. He put the trifecta, was starting on the pole, leading the most laps, and ultimately leading the final to get the victory. AJ Stravano, JR Shepard, the top 3 here this evening. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment. You have Bailey Turner, who finished 48 seconds behind that top spot and almost, 30 seconds behind JR Shepard. He'll get a top 5. Dakota Floyd in 5th position. Ben Laughter got around in Nathan Ferrana there on the last lap. That was the closest battle on this racetrack we had in this final laps. Ferrana's going to end up 7th. Rob Hamp will finish in 8th. Recovered back, got around Hatchell and Philip Brewer for the top 10.
Yes, +7 spots for Hatchell, and it technically was +17 for Brewer, coming all the way from the back for top 10. So pretty good run through the field for him. Angelo Horonis, 11th. Kenny Kibbe, probably a few people who's not going to be happy with after that one. Got moved by not one but 2 drivers at the end there. He ends up 12th. Justin Ritchie recovered pretty nicely. He was far back as 18th. He ends up 13th. Tim Shinosky, decent run for him. Ends up 14th. Matt Shinosky ends up 15th. Caleb Weekly, 16th. Chuck Sweeting, 17th. Keith Lakatos made up some spots tonight, ends up 18th. Bryce Shoemaker, 19th. And Max Cost ended up winning that battle versus Elliott Butler. Ends up with a top 20.
Back to 21st spot. Elliott Butler in the number 6. Broderick Vaclavic in 22nd spot. Noah Mahalski will finish in 23rd. Early exit for the race. All these cars electing not to finish. Eldon Stewart, Christopher Hodges, Kyle Peacock is going to end up 40 laps down. You have Keith Shoemaker, Michael Jones electing not to grid here today. So that's going to do it for our race results, but we have post-race coverage, and the first driver that we're going to talk to is your winner here tonight, Saturday Night Racing League at Sonoma. And the repave, remark, repaint, Jeff Wright, you still find a way. You dominated this race, a trifecta. You got the pole, most laps led, and ultimately win the race. How does it feel 10.5 seconds ahead?
Yeah, it feels good, obviously, to get a win. Feels good to be able to finish a race and have the computer stay on. And I got to thank you a little bit for that, Bradley Cooper, helping me these past few days, just kind of going through my PC system, settings, all that. You said that the car was going to hang on tonight, the computer, and it did. So thank you for that. And also the paint scheme tonight, brand new, fresh. We appreciate you putting this together for me as well, Mr. Cooper. It looked good out there. It's quite the scheme, quite the beater, some people might say. But Andy Cap's hot fries and Pepsi, hey, I thought it looked pretty good out there with the color scheme. So first and foremost, shout out to you. But yeah, fun to win at Sonoma. Glad that we could still do it here, even on the new repave. Felt a little bit different out there, but once we kind of got on a rhythm, it just felt like classic old Sonoma again, and it was a lot of fun out there.
Don't thank me yet. We still have 3 or 2 weeks before we get to the postseason. There's still plenty of things that could go wrong. And on top of that, Jeff, you have all of this coming up to what might be the only opportunity to dominate one of these races. We have plenty of racing left to be done. This racetrack, you know, is your bread and butter. But now we go on to Richmond Raceway. Anything can happen there. You've got the chase format where everything resets, and you're a little bit deeper in points than where you want to be.
Yeah, certainly would like to be a little bit further up there in the points. And, you know, with the way the format works this season, the wins don't give you any bonus points. So although we've been able to get a few wins, what we really need to do to position ourselves is to, you know, just get good finishes every week and not have any problems, not have any disconnects. And unfortunately, we've had a couple of those. So despite, you know, having a few wins, we've, you know, really been hurt just by not getting good finishes, you know, sporadically throughout the season. So we're trying to get more points here, try to finish these last 2 races strong here in the regular season. I believe we go to Richmond and Chicago. So those should be fun tracks. But like you said, we got a lot of guys that could win those races, and we just need to get good finishes. These last 2 weeks, we need no disconnects. We just need solid finishes. Try to seed us a little bit better here before we go to the playoffs.
Of all of the things that I just said, you dominated this race, Jeff. It was phenomenal. 10.5 seconds. You led every lap. Servano challenged there at the very beginning of the race. You knew how important the clean air was. What was your mindset going into those first uphill corners and then getting the lead back there just before we crossed that start-finish line?
Yeah, he got a really good jump there on the start of the race, and I knew how important it was to try and keep the lead early, just because even though this is a road course, dirty air is still very much a thing, and it's a big advantage to be able to have that clean air. So once he got around me there, I just kind of said, okay, let's take a step back here. Let's just run our rhythm here. I still feel pretty confident that we'll be able to get it back. And I was talking to AJ a little bit here in the channel before you pulled me in here, but he was kicking himself big time overdrive in turn 11 there, and was able to give me the lead right back. And I wasn't expecting that, but we took advantage of it. We got the lead back and never really looked back, and had all the advantages of having the lead, the clean air, and then just try to run a solid pace the rest of the night. Execute on that pit stop, try not to speed. iRacing updated the new pit speed limit, I guess. You can't really go much over the speed limit now. It'll black flag you pretty quick. Yeah, so I just try to be ultra conservative there on pit road, and not lose this thing, and then just hope that the computer would hold it together tonight, those last several laps there. And thankfully it did tonight, Bradley, and I appreciate you helping me with the computer earlier this week to make sure we didn't get a disconnect. So glad we could get this one, but we'll see if it holds through the rest of the season. Time will tell.
High fives all around here in the 48 team. Anybody you got to shout out? I know you already thanked me, and I feel like we're hogging this interview, so thank everyone else.
Yeah, well, thank Connor alongside you there in the booth. Both of you guys doing a really good job in the broadcast all season long. All of our partners, Team Boss, Ben Laughter, M&J Distributors, Joshua Banks, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, 29 Graphics, Walk and Roll and Costumes, Juicy Spider, Clark Print Shop, FireStorm Racing. I don't know if I said one of them twice, but I want to get them all out there. We appreciate all they do to support our league and our series. We couldn't do it without them. So shout out those guys. And I think I covered everybody, Bradley. It was a fun night. Glad to get out of here with a W.
I think we're going to shout out Bob Saget there in the chat. He's been pretty faithful here to the SNR League. So I think this was a good week, and you gotta have another 2 of them here. But the championship is still up for grabs, and we thank you for coming up here and talking to us. Dominant performance, Jeff. We'll see you next week at Richmond.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There you have it, your race winner. Phenomenal drive. We still have J.R. Shepard that we need to track down, but there he is. He just popped in. I'm going to pull AJ Stravado in the number 33. AJ, I talked to Jeff there. He was surprised into turn 11. You got the lead, got a heck of a jump up the hill. How frustrating is it, man, to get around this place? It's you got to be kicking yourself a little bit there, but man.
Yeah, I choked on my own chicken right there. That was pretty bad. I know better. Despite the cold tires, I definitely know better. I was got so excited with the hell of a start that we had. I completely messed it up in not 1 but 2 heavy braking zones. So I don't know if I got to adjust my brake bias a little bit, lower it a little bit at the start right there to get slowed down a little bit, but it just didn't slow down like it. I'd been practicing, and that's accounted to cold tires. So I threw that one away lap 1. Wish I could definitely have that one back, because if we had the lead right there, I would have liked our chances to at least play defense and maybe have Jeff wear out his tires on dirty air. But obviously he's so good here that's easy to say in hindsight. So just unfortunate we made the mistake.
Hindsight's 20/20. That's what I've always been told. I'm probably sick of hearing it 34 years into my life. Now, on top of that, you've got a repave, a fresh mark. This car has changed recently. there's so many variables here, and we know that you're a road course guy. What was your approach coming into this week, and what was your mindset?
The repave, I mean, the track is kind of the same, except for turn 11. And, I mean, it's a little bit smoother in certain areas, I think. So I think it's still the same approach though overall. Just got to really balance the rear and, just not overheat the front when going into these heaven braking zones. And I really like my ability to outbrake people and manage the fronts here, but it's just so tough here to navigate and manage the rears, and especially Jeff here. I mean, Jeff is damn near a wizard here. So just make the move I did lap one. I'm happy with that, but I expect better of myself everywhere else. So good to run second. Good to get a little bit of a gap in the points, especially I don't know if Bailey's going to be here next week, so that kind of helps for regular season stuff. But yeah, wish I could do that first lap again for sure. Over for sure.
Well, AJ, if it makes you feel any better, if anything went wrong, we know we had disconnect issues with Jeff Wright. I had you in my top 3, so I knew that you were going to be fast here tonight, and you were definitely fast. Had you not had Jeff Wright on the racetrack, you would have won this race 6.5 seconds. So definitely had the speed. And we're going on to Richmond. I know you can perform there. Anybody got the shout out though, AJ, for this performance tonight?
Yeah, first off, I'm looking forward to Richmond. That'll be a good track. But just all you guys at VSPEED for putting on a heck of a broadcast. It's always fun to watch these back. Jeff for the hell of a pace. JR for making me work my ass off that first run. He was on my tail, and I know he was itching to get around me. So that was fun. I enjoy the battles we have with him, even though, like I said, he probably doesn't with me. And all my guys at Nexus Esports and Lucky Duck Motorsports for the support they give me.
It's AJ Stravano in the 33, coming home in second spot. 7 days' time, we'll see you in Virginia.
Looking forward to it.
And finally, we have Connor Horn, who's caught up down in the pit. J.R. Shepard in the 98, your third place finisher.
Yeah, another top 5 finish for JR. This time he's able to get to the top 3, your top 5, and a lot of things. Top 10s, top 5s in the points, your top 5. And only road course of the season we go to, JR, and you performed pretty well. Just couldn't quite get by the 33, but how tall of a task was it for you to be able to run so good today?
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect to be as quick as we were. I thought that we'd be a top 10 car for sure, but yeah, just track position was extremely important tonight. So lucky that we got a good qualifying run in and didn't make too many mistakes in the opening lap. So we're able to build up a gap, and from that point, it was just kind of managing the tires the best that I could there. I felt like I did a really good job the first run. The second run, it got away from me. I don't know if it was the less fuel load or what, but I just did not do a good job saving the rears.
It's kind of what we mentioned. A lot of drivers, the fronts were an issue, but, a track with so much elevation change, the rears are really what were the issue. How tough was it to try to even save those? Seems like a lot of drivers were failing today at trying to save the rears for a long run.
It's extremely tough, especially at this place. There's so many low speed corners, and you got to accelerate hard up out of them. And the left rear is the one that really gets you, and the car starts slipping and sliding around, and then that just makes it worse, and you have less grip. But it's all about trying to let the car rotate and get it pointed as straight as possible before you start to accelerate, and even then you can mess up. So these cars got a lot of horsepower. They're really heavy, difficult to drive on a place like this. So I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's just it's very very difficult. It's mentally taxing on you as a driver at a place like this.
Definitely gonna be mentally taxing, especially with no yellows. You stuck through it, and you were third by over 30 seconds to the next best car. But down with the road courses, our first road course in a couple of seasons too. But we're done with those. Back to ovals. 2 more races before we get to the start of the chase. And I believe unofficially you are locked in to the chase no matter what. I don't know. I don't think it's official, but unofficially you for sure are. And you're looking pretty good again. You've had some close calls on track for sure. Have a lot of good tracks for you coming up, not only before but after the chase as well. We end at Kansas, where you can be pretty fast for sure. And what are you thinking as far as a title run? Seems like you have a lot of momentum going your way with a lot of good finishes as of late.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like we're starting to get a little momentum going. It's been a rough start to the season. I had a hard time just trying to keep my rear bumper clean, so got to work on trying to find some more speed, I guess, to help that out. And yeah, I don't know that I've got anything to make a run at the title, but definitely want to try to get as high up as we can. So Jeff Wright and Bailey, those guys are just super fast every week. So got to figure out how to get just a little bit better and be more consistent every week.
Consistency is key, especially in this format, and you've been pretty darn consistent the past 2 to 3 weeks. Another good one for you, JR. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just thank you to my teammates, excuse me, that we hang out with each and every week. They make it fun, enjoyable to be with. Want to give a shout out to my family, having another good day today on a Saturday, just hanging out and spending time with them and my two daughters. So really appreciate them making it a fun Saturday, and it's fun being here with you guys. And thank you for everything you guys do up in the booth for us. You make us look good, so we appreciate it.
J.R. Shepard, back-to-back top 6 finishes for you. You're on a roll so far. Thanks for talking to us. See you next week.
All right, thanks, Connor.
Thank you.
There you have it for your top 3. Those final race results. A dominated race by Jeff Wright. But we have more racing left to be done. Richmond Raceway, it's going to be fast. It's going to be 7/8, 3/4 of a mile. I'm sorry, I went to Iowa. That's where I was, and it's based off this racetrack. But
still correct.
Richmond, it's very close. I think it's very close. We gotta look that up. But the track facts next week. It's a short track, nonetheless. It's less than a mile. I do know that. June 20th, week 14, Richmond Raceway. 2 races left in the regular season. Connor, final thoughts, and then when we're going to this next menu, it's another track where everyone's going to be tested. Only this time, you don't spread out.
Another track where J.R. Shepard can be at the front for sure. And you're not going to really see much spread out action. You're going to see tight 2 wide, maybe 3 wide. You're going to see the bumpers being used the entire race. It's going to be a pretty fun one for sure, and a very important one for a lot of drivers. That cut line got pretty spread out. Chuck Sweeting looking pretty good. It's going to be tough for Bryce Shoemaker to cut down about 50 points in 2 races, but can never say never for sure. You don't know what can happen at Richmond or at Chicagoland, which is the final race before the chase. That'll be a fun one for sure. Richmond never disappoints, especially in this car. Always a great track. And yet again, it's another track where Jeff Wright can very easily win at. We've seen him win here in previous seasons as well. So he's a tough one to beat at every track we go to. It's just another one that someone's going to have to find a way to take down the 48.
Well, it's another racetrack with this new build, and it's had its own updates as well. Everyone's going to have to adapt and overcome with 2 races left of the regular season. That's going to do it for us here at VSPEED, though, in the first and only road course in this season. Connor Horn, I appreciate you coming up here and helping us out every single race. If you enjoyed tonight's action, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We have coverage all season long in 6 seasons here for Saturday Night Racing League. For Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, Logan Threlkeld, and everyone here at Saturday Night Racing League to help make this possible. Jeff Wright with a dominant performance. He led all 55 laps. He got the pole, and he got the final lap led. We're going to say good night from VSPEED. Stay tracking, everybody.